Okay.
It is 8:29. We are closed.
Thanks, Tom.
It's 8:30. Good morning, everybody. We'll call the meeting of the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors to order. We have minutes to approve of September 27th and 28th.
I would approve the minutes as written. I second that motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good morning, Dwayne.
Well, good morning, supervisors. You all had a pleasant weekend.
Yes.
Last week, the road crews had a chance to utilize that new rock retriever that you guys approved the purchase of later or last month. They were falling all over themselves with how nice that thing works and how much easier it is having it in front of the unit. And they did it on V63, H17, and V64. If you're out in that area, take a look at it. It cuts a string straight edge into the grass and brings the rock over.
Nice.
It really does a nice job of salvaging that rock and making the edge of the road very apparent and noticeable, so you're not guessing where the ditch begins and the road ends. We've also got one of our two belly dumps up and running. They're hauling rock with it. And we'll continue to haul rock with it and spot in as the autumn proceeds towards winter. Hopefully we're finished with patching on V64. I think they're wrapping up the concrete patching for the year unless something shows up here during harvest, pavement failure somewhere. But and we discussed over excavating and digging out the shoulders so that any trapped moisture underneath the pavements can weep into the ditch instead of staying locked underneath the pavement and creating another soft area. So that's something that they haven't been doing, but we've pretty well got an attack plan on that for going forward. I apologize, I should have been out sooner visiting with them to see how they were doing things, but I think we're on the right track there. Doug with Iowa Bridge and Culvert called last week. We've got them on board to do some rehab work on the Mahogany Avenue Bridge north of, 125th. There's some pier work to do on that, and then we're going to do some riprap in the channel to head off any further erosion and actually bring it up to a higher level, whereas where it was after original construction. Billy and Doug are coordinating on that. We hope to have them in the last week of the month, and we've got a little work to do prior to that. Received 100 tons of salt and 150 tons of ice control sand, so we're sitting in pretty good shape for Mother Nature should winter come early. Then District 5 county engineers got together last week over at the Iowa DOT District 5 office. I'd like to thank Bob Uni and his staff for providing a facility for all of us to get together. We've got a nice conference room that he said he'd let the engineers use anytime they wanted to at no cost. So that
Over in the shop.
over at their new office.
Yeah, the garage.
Or
in
their
the
office.
office
They've got
building
a really nice.
Yeah, they do. I didn't know
It's
whether he was
awesome.
letting you use that one or the one out in the garage.
I take it from Bob's comments and some of the other engineers that his predecessor was not as friendly to work with
No.
for other agencies. And Bob wants to reverse that and become more of a partner with the counties and
That's
cities,
good.
local agencies to
How
try.
many counties are in District 5 approximately?
17.
Okay.
17, 20. There's 20 counties in District 5.
Okay, we had 17 engineers show up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. which would be about right because some of them do dual counties down in this area, but there are 20 counties in this district.
Let's see. Oh, I was out driving some of the level Bs last week, and there's a few of those that are quite steep and really kind of an erosion problem without having stone on them. So I spoke with Billy about putting ditch checks at the edges of the road to help mitigate the edge rut erosion that we're getting on some of those real steep roads. Just kind
Just
of
wait
help.
till we have earnings.
Yeah, we just try and keep our soil where it belongs instead of sending it down the river. I think that's really all I have. We're continuing to work with Star Equipment to get the existing Topcon GPS and data collector usable so we can actually use it for engineering design purposes.
Good.
Hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have a good step on that. And then, as part of that District 5 conference, there was a webinar on the American Recovery Program. And from what they were saying, we cannot, obviously, we can't use the funds directly for road work.
Right.
Unless it's for replaced funds that were lost because of COVID. So they also provided a link to a calculator that they have, which I sent over to the recorder's office, and Shannon indicated that they had been working on that, but she thanked me for sending that her way. And I gave you guys a copy of what I worked up for the county engineers department. It looked like 2020, we were about 600,000 in revenue reduction and 180 for 21. And that's based on an engineer's understanding of accounting, so that may not be 100% accurate,
But it's a start.
it's as near as I can tell where we're at.
That's helpful. Oh, good.
And I think you've got some resolutions.
Okay. Discuss and consider hiring Quinn Daniel in the secondary road department. You want to tell us about this?
He's a young man with a pretty good background in construction. We considered him for our previous round of hires, but he lives just east of the county line. So when we were discussing it, Billy thought he would be a really good fit for the Glasgow grader shed when Mike retires.
Billy.
Billy Haynes.
Yeah. I'm still working on their names.
You
Don't
know,
laugh at me.
Well, you're way ahead from the last guy. He worked on him for 9 years and never got him.
So when he retires so we hope to bring Quinn on, excuse me, I believe November 15th.
So, okay, you got here November 16th.
Yeah, so yeah, the first day of that pay period, to give him a couple weeks of training.
When was Billy's last day?
His last work day, I think, is going to be December 8th, and then he's got some accrued vacation to take him to the end of the year. But you'd have to double check with Mark on that. He's my brains on that kind of stuff.
Billy's done that job for a long time.
I would make a motion to approve the resolution by the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors, the following wage rate and classification for secondary road department full-time employee shown below be effective November 16th of 2021 for Quinn Daniel, equipment operator.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, how many copies you need, Abby? So two. Discuss and consider purchase of, how do you say that?
The power tilt,
The power
the
tilt.
Hillock power tilt.
Yeah.
Hillock
Power tilt.
Hillock power
For
tilt.
320 DLRR in the secondary road department.
I don't know if they sent you over schematic of it, it is basically an elbow or a backhoe bucket.
And knuckles, so you can
Turn it, so you can turn it. It makes
articulate.
it makes it awful handy for cleaning, brushing the dishes.
It looks like it.
And this is not something we don't have. It is a replacement for one that's basically wore out.
Okay.
About how much will that cost?
Looks like $25,000 and $25,077. They don't give those dang things away.
No. I would make a motion to approve the purchase of the Healy power tilt for the 320 DLRR.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Also on, I guess, on equipment, we're going to start working on our 2022 or 2023 budget. At some point, we're going to start replacing motor graders, which are
Expensive.
300 grand
Uh,
minus trade-in. So we've got one that is 16 years old that is a spare now. It's basically, you can use it in a pinch, but you wouldn't want to have something down for a week and rely on it. So
mhm.
that's our target to replace it.
What's the average number of hours those get on them?
I honestly don't know. He's been trying to run them 10 years before he moves them to a replacement. And what I would like to do, and I don't know, does our accounting system offer a equipment module? Do you know?
That would be a question for Melissa, probably.
Melissa or
Because-
Shannon?
A list of all the apps they have the assets for the county.
Because I would like to be able to start tracking what our repair costs are on those.
Good.
Because we have a 2009 cat grader that they rebuilt in 2016. And Billy is just, he gushes about that machine after they went through and gave it an overhaul, which I assume is probably half the cost of brand new.
Oh,
It's
easy.
a
Yeah.
Caterpillar, you send it into the factory, they take them down to the frame and build them back up. But I think that's probably the way we'll start moving once we get Caterpillar equipment that's at that age.
Why don't you talk to Melissa and Shannon about that? And if that's something we need, that's gonna, help. It sounds like it's a good cost-effective tool to make
Well,
some analysis. So,
We don't have that much equipment that we couldn't just do an Excel spreadsheet.
okay,
But it would be handy if we had it such that when we're entering invoices, we could just code it instead of doing a double entry. That would be
okay. Discuss and consider step increases for 3 secondary road department employees.
So you want to say anything about these guys, Dwayne?
Well, I believe this is their longevity pay step.
Okay, so it's not,
It's no raises, it's just,
it's just
they've been
their
here,
time.
yeah,
longevity. Okay,
yeah, they get a step every, based on their
Mhm.
time served.
Right, and these
That was
employees,
probably the wrong term.
well,
Yeah,
maybe.
they're good hands.
no, but it's an important clarification for us.
And I'm curious, Dwayne, what do these individual folks do? Well, Thomas works in the office.
Thomas works in the office. Alan, I believe, is our grader operator out of Packwood.
Yeah,
And he is also certified PC1 inspection technician. So if, and I hope to get, excuse me, I hope to get a couple other our employees certified. So when we get to a point where we have to be more than one place at a time, we'll have that covered.
Mhm.
But Alan's good. Thomas is top notch. Brandon, I haven't been around a whole lot. He helps out with the pipe crew and patch crew.
Just curious. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Do we have a
I
motion?
would make a motion to approve the resolution to move the 3 employees up the step increase.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Terry, update from Terry
Yeah. why don't
Baker, and
you
it
come
should
on
be
over?
visit Fairfield.
You guys are done?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Good morning, supervisors. Thank you for having me in today. I'm here to present the Visit Fairfield Annual Report, and this is for our fiscal year ending in June 30th of 2021.
Okay.
So you have a document kind of summarizing our previous year, highlighting some of the things that happened. Obviously, it was still a challenging year for tourism. We found that we had a considerable decrease in our hotel motel tax collection, which is our main funding source. What we decided to do since basically March of 2020 was focus on our local businesses and how we're going to support them so that they can maintain their existence throughout these challenging times and have a presence once people are ready to travel again. So we focused on doing different events, different promotions. We also worked a lot on behind the scenes, creating some what we call evergreen content. This is content for our website and our visitors guide that has some legs to it. It'll last a long time rather than just here's an event here and here's an event there. We focused on really telling that Fairfield Jefferson County story a little more extensively. So you see, marketing is obviously one of our biggest activities. And so you have a pretty extensive report here of our marketing activities. I should mention that the actual data on how tourism has impacted Jefferson County will not be out until later in October. So we'll have that information a little later on that I will be able to share with you. For marketing, we wanted to increase leisure tourism, inspire leisure tourism, increase the desire to live, learn, and work in Fairfield, or even possibly move or start a new business, create and stimulate local pride in the community, and improve the overall desirability of the community through storytelling. Some of our initiatives are we had an influencer program where we had an Instagram influencer who came to Fairfield with their family. They did a variety of things, including Carnegie Museum and Masdam Barnes, and went to lots of places to eat and have fun. And she has been quite active in telling that story about what fun they had here. I think she's a 5-year-old daughter, apparently loves ribs and was sweet and saucy, and they have all kinds of pictures of her with this giant plate. There were some fun things that really, really helped show that story and how family friendly the area is. We obviously also displayed in the state tourism guide. We also do ads in Midwest Living. We are in the process of developing a new travel guide. That travel guide, we are actually on the verge of printing. I'm super excited for this. This is a brand new design and focus. We, instead of having our smaller little guide with just, business listings and little quotes or whatever, this is actually going to be a travel magazine. There are articles. There's an extensive article about Carnegie Museum, article about sort of the cider city with all of our cideries and our wine and beverage industry here. So it's going to be a really cool piece.
How often will that?
This piece will be probably for the next year, maybe a year and a half as we move into doing the next one. We'll see how it goes, and it's a rather expensive piece to produce, but we really feel it's foundational. Between the travel guide and our website, those are really kind of our main outreaches to the visitor population. See, we also did, we started a blogger program, a community blogger program with 10 individuals. They've sort of taken a little hiatus at the moment, but we were able to add about 25 new blogs to our website, which gives that sort of what do the locals do perspective of the community, which is really attractive to visitors. We are also in the process of developing a foodie trail map that identifies where all the restaurants and the wine and cider establishments are. And we produced several videos. So we have 3 new videos out. One focuses on art in the area, one focuses on sort of the food and beverage scene, and one is kind of a generalized video. Those are on our YouTube channel as well as our website. We also did some advertising in AAA Living Magazine for their bike edition, and our advertising that we really focused mostly predominantly is on social media. We did a campaign called Find Yourself in Fairfield with different kinds of focus. We would target either a young millennial group, sometimes we targeted family groups, sometimes we targeted young professionals. So we targeted lots of different groups that might find the area of interest to visit and possibly move. I won't go through all of these things with you, but we also did partner with the State Tourism Office on several things, the Year of the Road Trip and the Family Week that they did. One of our biggest successes was doing virtual shopping nights. So we gathered a lot of the shops together and we did a Facebook marketing campaign where they would get on Facebook Live and basically sell their wares. And we started this actually in May of 2020. And the very first weekend, I had shops calling me and saying, I've made enough money in the last 2 hours to pay my rent. And so it was a very significant, and they were getting people from Pennsylvania, from Minnesota, and from California tuning in and shopping. So that was a really exciting thing. And we did that several times throughout the year to help them out. So the other thing that we did of significance with our marketing was we held a community marketing think tank. I believe, Dee, you were in on that. We just wanted to gather the community together. How do you perceive the community? What would you like other people to know about the community? And we use that information in developing our new marketing and strategic plan. On the next page, you'll see some of our marketing results. We had a 40% increase in our social media following. We had a 20% increase in our Shop and Be Merry sales, which is an event we do every holiday season. So there was a significant increase there. We did that as a hybrid event, both in person and virtual. We also produced some shopping video ads that were in conjunction with that campaign. There were a staggering 18,000 people who saw those videos, which was really significant. And these were targeted in Western Illinois, Central Iowa, and Northern Missouri. One of my favorite things was our big takeout, our restaurant week, where we really wanted to support that restaurant industry. January is typically a time when they see a drop off in clientele. So we did something in late January to promote that and really encourage people to go and get takeout. That was also a campaign that the restaurants were super excited about and saw some great success. So, and the other thing I would just point out as significant is our print ads, which were predominantly in Midwest Living Magazine. We gathered almost 1,000 leads from that. Now, these are people who actually send us their email address and contact information, requesting a visitor's guide or some contact so that they can find out more about Fairfield. This is quite a significant number. Those leads were also from 32 different states. So we are now able to market to those people and continue to have that conversation about visiting the area. And you'll see some little samples of our ads that we put out. My favorite was the orange one up in the corner that we did for the hotels. Basically, this was in the height of social distancing. And so we were saying, use the excuse of social distancing to get a room for your family when they come to visit. And that was very popular. At least got some laughs. Financially, if you look at the overview of our budget, obviously we had we had to do some trimming of our budget. We were able to cut that budget down by 32% to accommodate the unpredictable climate. There was a 44% decrease in that hotel motel tax. So that was quite a significant thing for us. And we had to really scramble to think on our feet how we were going to create that, still create that impact. In times of challenges, you never want to stop marketing. You want to continue marketing. If you stop, that momentum stops. So we wanted to be able to continue that. And I'm happy to say that through our juggling of our numbers, we were actually able to invest 30% more in our marketing budget by removing things and playing around with some things there. So
Hey, Terry, can I ask you a question?
yes,
Your hotel motel tax.
yes.
Okay. Best Western had been closed for over a year.
We're definitely seeing that there was a decrease in there. Of course, I'm not sure exactly what that happened about December, I think.
Yeah, it was right.
Yeah.
before-
So there was a decrease, definitely. We were hit probably that very first quarter. The interesting thing is that the hotel motel tax is starting to go up. It's trending higher throughout the state.
Yeah.
So we're finding that the other hotels are picking up some of that extra business.
Okay.
Maybe not all of it, because we definitely hear that people are staying in.
It's my understanding things are looking up, that maybe that place is gonna be open.
I'm hearing lots of different stories, so I don't know what the official word is going to be on
Looks like
that.
we're hearing a good story.
Yeah, I'm also looking at the possibility, you know, if it's time for us to invest in another hotel, and where that might be and what things we could do.
Yeah.
I do think, for example, we could benefit from a boutique hotel in the downtown area just to help support the convention center, so they could actually have more conventions and meetings and bring people in from out of town. So there's some different
Yeah.
conversations on
I
the
didn't
table.
mean to interrupt. Thank you for your
No.
information.
That's perfectly fine. On the back, you'll kind of see some of our community support projects. This will be just sort of a repeat of some of the things we mentioned before. But these were specific things that we did to support the community in the last 18 months. The trends that we're seeing in tourism, we are seeing that things are picking up. The state tourism office is noting that they're tracking visitor traffic and it's on par with what it was in 2019. So just a little bit of a drop, but it's still on par, and it's kind of all these cycles of when people are coming is sort of trending the same as well. So that was great. And people are viewing that travel and reduction in travel is due to health reasons more than a financial reason. So people still have money to travel. They're just being cautious from a health perspective still. They're not stopping their travel because of lack of finances. One of the trends that I thought was slightly disturbing was the fact that most travelers, many travelers, about 69% are expecting actually better service from their travel experiences than before the pandemic. So even in spite of knowing that the travel industry and the service industry is still challenged with finding workforce, they are expecting better service. So that was an interesting trend that I thought we'll have to address at some point. Going into the future, we're going to be expanding our marketing and trying to do a little bit more storytelling with our meeting market, or wedding market, and a group tour market. And obviously we're just trying to keep that continued message going. Video storytelling and dynamic visuals will always take center stage in our marketing collateral. One of the things that we are launching and just launched on Friday was our Fairfield Passport. This is our mobile pass that allows you to travel throughout town and check in. So this QR code, you can just scan your phone camera, your camera phone over that. It'll take you to a place to sign up. What happens with this is we have about 33 businesses signed up. When you go to that business, you can get a code to punch in that says you've checked in. Now, why do you want to check in? The reason you want to check in is because at the end of the month, every month, we are offering prizes. And so every time you check in somewhere, it puts you a new entry into winning a prize. This month, we are giving away Bose wireless headphones.
Right.
And every month there'll be some nice prizes, so you can check in repeatedly. Also, some of the businesses, we've included restaurants, shops, and attractions. Some of them are offering some discounts, so you can go in and get some discounts. So it works like a little coupon, digital coupon book. So that's kind of what we've got going on.
Sounds like you were able to do well during the pandemic, so.
We really challenge ourselves to look at what can we do. We know that there's a lot of stuff we can't do, but what can we do? And that we're going to continue that perspective moving forward.
I think you've done a good job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, good job.
Good job.
Right. Have any other questions? No?
I guess not.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Committee reports.
I don't have one.
You have any, Susan?
Just a second. No, I do not.
I had Area 15, and I have a trivia game for us to play.
Oh, okay.
So I got the population statistics from 1950 to 2020. And it goes by county, by city. So how much did the population, and do it by hundreds of people, in Jefferson County change between 1950 and 2020?
35%.
All right. Anybody in the peanut gallery want? No? Okay. In 1950, the population was 15,696 people.
Oh,
And in 2020, the population was 15,663 people. Great grand,
1,500.
or 15,000, excuse me, thank you,
Okay.
Darren.
That was quite a drop.
I was trying to do math in my head when I read
For
it. So,
clarity.
so that for a grand total change of what? 30 some people. I didn't do the math, but I thought that was really interesting. And the good news here, even though we lost population this last 10 years, the good news in 70 years is we have maintained population overall. And you can go to the other counties involved in Area 15, and pretty much everyone lost except for us. So
Does your trivia show us how many people used to be in the county that are now, that population change between the city and the county?
you could figure it out. It also gives city populations. So for example, in 1950, Fairfield had 7,299 people. And in 2020, 9,416. So, and it gives all the cities in the county, but I just thought that was interesting to see, because for those of us who were not quite here, but almost here in the,
Okay, is that you, Dee? You're not quite here, but
not
almost
quite here, but almost here in 1950.
No, we're talking about the population.
Right.
Right, but we grew up here, we kind of know what it was like.
I was referring to the not quite here.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Anyway, if anybody wants these, they're from Area 15, I just
I
thought
think
that was
that's very
interesting.
interesting.
But I think, again, it's just amazing that we have managed to maintain overall pretty well population, so. I think that takes a lot of commitment by the community as a whole to make that happen. So that's really good. Let's see, I think that was the main committee last week. Do we have any public comments? Any public comments here? No? Anybody online? Don't see anybody on meeting. Okay. Do we have a motion to allow claims and approve reports?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, any nuisance updates?
The cleanup out at the West Hall property has been moving right along. I'm not sure where they're at as far as being finished or not, but they have gotten a lot taken care of. So,
Alrighty, motion to adjourn,
I would move to adjourn.
I would second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye. Thank you, everyone that was online. Have a good day.
Absolutely.